Jack of all trades, master of none. It's a saying I heard a lot growing up, as a teenager, and as a young professional. And in the UK, it's kind of derogative. It's usually used as kind of, you dabble in loads of things, not really an expert. And the thing that confused me most about it is those labels, those trades, were ones other people were giving me. So I'd be introduced as a board member, a strategist, a choreographer, a dancer, a futurist, a creative technologist. The list went on. Yes, as a choreographer, the world I see is dancing. Because if you think about movement in its most pure form, it's a translation of energy through time and space. So if that is the case, why are we so terrified of dancing? What are the consequences of all the liberating tools and technologies that we have around us that are removing manual labor from our lives? Because actually, if we don't have working rhythms in our bodies anymore, how can dance evolve? What will dance be for the 21st century? And this is where the troublemaker came in, because I couldn't see anyone trying to tackle this. And so I started ripping my craft to shreds to try and find out what it could be. And I came across augmented dance, which is the fusion between movement and technology. And it is troublesome, because from the background as a dancer, it's not dance at the fore. From the background as technology, it's not technology at the fore. And from the background as performance, it's not the audience at the fore. It's about a dialogue between all of those. And when you find that, something extraordinary appears. New physical languages evolve, new locations for dance, new technologies, new audiences, new scale, new collaborators. We found ourselves working with product designers and urban designers and landscape architects, coders, composers, and suddenly you had to change all the aspects about how you're working, who you're taking risks with, and why you create work like that. When we did, as a consequence, as performance artists, we started creating work all over the world and performing to audiences of thousands. And I started to think that maybe this idea of being a jack of all trades, maybe that openness and that willing to try new things was the only way forward, especially when I found out the root of the saying. Jack of all trades, master of none is a misuse of the saying. It used to be jack of all trades, master of no one. It referred to Jack, which was a nickname for an able seaman. And a jack could sail the ship, could navigate, could read the sea, could work as a carpenter, could make barrels, could bind ropes, could cook. But they weren't the master of anyone, because the only master on a ship was the captain. And I started to think, okay, if I'm a jack of all trades, and my ship is currently this augmented dance, what are the landscapes we're navigating through? And I can tell you that precisely in 2007, sat outside the Tate Modern in the UK. I was listening to some music, waiting for a friend to turn up, and suddenly all the cranes surrounding St. Paul's at the time moved in perfect synchronicity to the music I was listening to. And I was like, that's it. All this work we've been doing, we've missed the point. It's our cities that are dancing. The shape of our public spaces, the infrastructure of our cities, the lifts in our building, the way light pours through windows, the puddles that we jump over, the traffic we weave through. This is influencing our sense of movement every day far more than any individual show that I was making. So for once, I decided to give myself my own job title and decided to set myself the challenge of being an architectural choreographer. so that actually I would finally show, or try to show, that our cities are dancing. And currently, I'm doing this through the medium of cranes. So this is Bristol. This is my hometown in the UK. And I made this my set, the harbour itself. I made the cranes, 3 industrial construction cranes, and the gentlemen, these amazing 70-year-old crane operators and their banksmen. I made them my dancers. I wanted to show people that the infrastructure of our cities has an inherent movement and beauty to it. And, well, this is what happened. Thank you. 10,000 people came to see 3 cranes do a synchronized dance routine. And we reached something extraordinary, like 4 million people online without any live streaming or national press coverage. And all we did was place the cranes that tower over our skylines and are in all of our cities, the center of attention, and gave people the chance to look up. And one of the things I love most is that I get photos sent to me from all over the world, from Moscow to Lisbon to Seoul to Hong Kong. And for me, that means people are still looking up. Every city they go to, they look up again. And I think I understand why. This is a live ECC brain scan recording of somebody's brain activity whilst they're watching Crane Dance Bristol. That is the level of total brain stimulation that an event like this creates. A visceral event where you have landscape and memory and movement and sound and smell and people all coming together. That's a memory and a half. So I suppose I have one wish and one provocation to finish with. My wish is that if anyone calls you a jack of all trades, don't shy away from it, because I would never be creating work at this scale if I hadn't had an openness and a love of dabbling in all these different things and bringing different types of people and different skills together. And my provocation is simply, which city would you like to see dance next? Thank you.